mentioned Mr. Clark in the afternoon call earlier that day.
I'd like to yield to the gentlewoman from Wyoming, Vice Chair.
You have been watching a CBS News special report regarding the Capitol attack on January 6th.
Today, lawmakers revealed how former President Trump targeted the DOJ in attempts to support false claims of election fraud. They also called on witnesses who claimed Trump threatened to replace or fire people as he sought to overturn President Joe Biden's win.
You can continue watching this hearing on our website, our Facebook page, or the News 2 app. But for now, it's time for 4 to 5.
All right, welcome officially to the 4 to 5. Eric Chilton alongside Chad Silber and Lauren Coleman.
Thank you for watching us on News 2, on air, online, Fire Stick, Roku, and the News 2 app. And if you're on Facebook, give us a shout out. We're going to be there for the next hour just hanging out.
If you haven't downloaded our app, point your phone's camera at the QR code on your screen to download it. It comes in very handy. Now let's get to your top story at 4 today. Lexington police say an 8-year-old died this morning from injuries received in a crash involving an NC Department of Transportation truck.
We have been following this story for a couple days now. You'll remember 3 other children were also hurt. Just 2 of them are hers, the driver. The child who died was not. One of hers, a 3-year-old, is still in critical condition.
Officers say the children were in the car with Amber Whitaker on Tuesday when she ran into the back of the truck. Investigators say Whitaker was high on methadone at the time of this crash.
She is charged with DWI and reckless driving and was released yesterday after posting a $500 bond. Investigators are meeting tomorrow to consider additional charges. This is a developing story. We will keep you posted.
Well, let's talk about temperatures because the other day we were looking at 96 degrees. It was the hottest day of the year and the hottest day in the last 3 years. In fact, to find a temperature warmer than that, you have to go back to July of 2017. 5 years ago, we hit 97. So we don't have to have that anymore. Look at these readings. This is not bad. 86 in Greensboro right now, 89 in High Point. I can tell you that about 20 minutes ago, the temperature was 87 in Greensboro. That may be close to our high temperature. 88 in Lexington right now and 89 in Mount Airy, Wilkesboro at 86. Heading into the night tonight, 65 will be the overnight low. That's not too bad. An evening thunderstorm, so very isolated, not severe in nature. You could see some lightning and thunder with it, but not a tornado situation. This is basically just an isolated shower or storm, and it will be very isolated across the area. Highs tomorrow only going to 86. It'll be really comfortable, slightly cooler than today. And as we watch, you can see more thunderstorm activity down around Hickory and Catawba County and Lincoln County, that area, than right over us. But we can't rule it out for anybody because it's just a generally unsettled situation here as we see those showers streaming down from the north once again. So that's heading into the night tonight. You can see even in Futurecast, it's just kind of hit or miss and no major thunderstorm cell. So let's look at that 7-day forecast and see what's happening here. That would be 86 for tomorrow, 88 for Saturday, 89 Sunday. We build a little bit temperature wise, but rain chances pretty slim for Friday, Saturday, only a 30% Sunday. Best chance is Monday with that high of 86 and then cooler with Tuesday, a slight thunderstorm chance at 80. Next week we start to warm, but it'll be dry Wednesday and Thursday with highs at 85 and 87.
Turning now to big changes happening in all schools across the nation. Federal waivers allowing school districts to provide free breakfast and lunch to students expires June 30th.
That means parents will have to again fill out those free or reduced meal forms. Children won't automatically make the list. Parents
of children who do not qualify for food benefits will now have to pay for meals. Guilford County Schools says if you're not sure if your child is eligible, you should go ahead and apply anyway.
The application takes into consideration income as well as family size or the size of your household to determine if your student or students qualify for free meals. And we're encouraging all of our families to do that. As soon as we get to July 1st, we can do that on our online lunch application. So that we can get them qualified so they can start school receiving the meals that they qualify for.
Applications for free or reduced lunch at Guilford County Schools go out next Friday.
Right now, registration is still open for Guilford County Schools' free summer camp programs. There are different kinds of camps to choose from that feature skills like coding and cooking. While some of the camps kicked off last week, others will start later in the summer. The camps with open seats will pop up on the registration website. Free transportation and meals are provided. For more details and a link to register, just look for the story on our website.
Local universities are trying to keep students busy over the summer. Two Triad HBCUs are using federal COVID money to combat learning loss, even offering free classes. WFMY News 2's Jalen Gilkey met students taking advantage of this opportunity.
Well, since 2020, North Carolina's 5 public HBCUs have received over $500 million in federal COVID-19 funding. Recently, the UNC system announced that a portion of that money be used to provide free summer classes for students at North Carolina A&T, Winston-Salem State, Fayetteville State, North Carolina Central, and Elizabeth City University.
So we're really excited this week about being able to offer summer school for free for some of our students. You know, here at WSSU, we wanted to be very strategic and very tactical about how we offer that. So we are offering it to the students that are in our special populations or our most vulnerable students.
At Winston-Salem State, that population of students includes freshmen who failed to complete 30 credit hours and seniors who are missing courses that could cause them not to graduate on time.
Our students are so important to us in making sure that they stay on track and to be able to graduate. And so that's always at the forefront. So we're constantly evaluating how best we can help our student.
The funds from this program have come from the over $500 million North Carolina's 5 public HBCUs have received from the federal government since 2020. North Carolina A&T received the most out of all of the schools and has enough money to offer these free summer classes to the entire student body.
I was very, very excited, and it really motivated me to do it, even though, you know, being a college student, I wanted to take my summer being free. I feel like anything free is good, especially as an out-of-state student. We don't get a lot of opportunities that in-state students get, so I was like, let me take this opportunity and run with it.
At North Carolina A&T, today at 5 p.m. is the deadline to register for Summer Session 2 classes.
Jalen, thank you. Let's get to your 4 to 5 roundup. Right now, police are conducting a death investigation after a fire on Renninger Street. In Winston-Salem, investigators found the body of 80-year-old Barbara Harmon inside the home after the fire was put out. The fire department says the fire started last night just after 8. In this video here, you can see the flames ripping through the brick building. Anyone with information should call 911.
The Supreme Court ruled today on the first major gun rights case in more than a decade. In a 6-3 decision, the justices shot down a New York state law which required applicants for a concealed carry license to show a special need in order to be approved. The justices said the requirement violates the Second Amendment. This ruling impacts laws in 6 states. North Carolina is not one of them. Families got free baby formula at a StarMed event in Winston-Salem today. They gave out about 100 cans of formula. StarMed is hosting another giveaway on Saturday at Four Seasons Town Center in Greensboro. We've got more information on our website. We'll be right back.
Summer means warmer temperatures and more fun in the sun. Just like us, pests and other creepy crawlers tend to be more active when temperatures rise. I spoke with McNeely Pest Control to find out the best way to keep bugs out the house. It's summertime, folks, and with summer comes bugs. Here to talk more about it is Jordan Myers with McNeely Pest Control. So, Jordan, what are some of the common pests homeowners see this time of year?
Well, the most common one's probably going to be ants. That's the one we get the calls about the most during the warm months of the year. But there's also, spiders and mosquitoes and other little creepy crawlies that come in too.
What are some simple things homeowners can do to keep the bugs out of the house?
Well, out here at this house today, you can kind of see how the mulch is so thick. Keeping mulch thin, that's one big thing that they can do. That provides a good harborage for ants, termites, lots of other insects. A good aspect of this house is you can see the bushes are trimmed back, they're not touching the house, and they're not just really overgrown, because if you have a lot of bushes up next to the house with mulch or pine needles, that can just provide great harborage for ants, mice, cockroaches, all kinds of things.
And we don't want any of that.
No,
so
we don't.
When should a homeowner know to call a professional like you?
If you get overwhelmed, like you get so many in the house that you just can't get rid of them just by normal means of, wiping them up or cleaning up some sort of little spill of a soft drink or something like that, that's really when you want to call somebody that, does this every day for a living.
All right, thanks so much, and let's keep the bugs out the house. Well, coming up at 5:30, we have a Q&A on how to get rid of mosquitoes, so make sure that you tune in for that.
I hate bugs.
Hate bugs.
Don't like them.
Hate bugs.
Not in my house. They can stay out and do what they want to do. I'm good with that.
But somehow they always find a way
They
in.
do. I actually had a wasp follow me into the house the other day. I don't know how else it got there, so
Really?
it must have just followed me when I
So what'd you
came
do with
home.
it?
It actually stood still, so I just held my
got
breath
it.
and took a shoe in.
But aren't you always, my wife says I'm the worst. She says I miss too much, or don't kill him when I hit it. And so you hit the bee and then he's like, "Ugh," and then you're in trouble.
Mad.
And what I usually do is if I have bug spray, I just spray it until it starts drowning, and there's just this huge puddle of bug spray everywhere.
So I would say that spiders. I have
Me
a
too.
mild arachnophobia. But I asked people on Facebook which was the worst. Naomi says spiders. Melita
Yes.
says ticks. Nancy says roach and ants. And Naomi, spiders and roaches, ew.
Yeah, I can't do spiders because I'm always thinking about them laying eggs. And when I was a
Yes.
child, someone had told me a story about someone who a spider laid eggs in their arm, and
I
it
know
got
what
this
this
big
is. Yes, I've
ball,
heard
and then they
that.
popped it open. So ever since then, I don't care how small it is, it's got to go.
Do not Google that because you'll find things,
Yeah.
that crazy videos. We had a wolf spider, I told you this
Yes.
before, in my garage, and the abdomen was moving, and we were like, what is it? We all got close and looked. We didn't know that they carried their babies on the abdomen, and so it was all the babies hanging on, and it was the grossest thing. And I was like, I don't know if we kill it, all those babies are going to go running all
Right.
directions.
That's
So-
why it's so important to caulk the windows and different things like that. Because my
yeah.
sister, when we were a lot younger, there was like a little nest, and I guess it was in the window, and it was like Charlotte's Web.
It was everywhere.
The babies were just going everywhere,
Ugh.
so
Ugh.
she had to get like a new window, and it was
Dragon-
pretty traumatizing.
Dragonflies, those are the only good bugs because they eat the mosquitoes. So,
Really? I didn't
yep,
know that.
mhm. So I see them around, I'm like, hey, come over
Yeah.
here. Come
Well,
in
they're
here.
fun too, the way they
Yeah,
fly around and
absolutely.
stuff. I love that. Okay.
All right,
Let's talk
weather
about
time.
anything else but bugs. A forecast would be good. Yeah. Ugh, I can't stand it. And after I got attacked by the yellow jackets last year, I'm done with that too. Here's what we see with temperatures. Now, this is a running total basically. So some of these may not end up being the official high, but it's what we've gotten so far. The highest temperature that we have recorded, which by the way, it records at the top of each hour. So during that hour, the temperature may have ticked up 1 degree or so. But 87 in Greensboro, 89 Winston-Salem and Burlington and Lexington. Albemarle to the south at 92. Sanford, that's Ed Matthews' hometown, at 87 degrees. Across the region, the heavier thunderstorm activity is really more to the southwest around Hickory and Charlotte. We see a couple popping up here or there. Even if you go out to the Broadview here, most of the rain is coastal at this point from Norfolk down to Hatteras, seeing scattered showers, we would call that. Futurecast overnight, you see they develop and then push south, but again, it's just kind of hit or miss, and now we're heading into the evening period, and it starts to calm down once we get to that 7 to 8 o'clock time period. So just an isolated storm or two. That's the best way to term this. Cold front kind of sinks a little bit and fizzles out as stationary, kind of sits over us for Friday, but with that high pressure moving by, we don't see much in the way of rain tomorrow. It's only a 20% chance. Again, it would be a late day pop-up storm, but we just don't think a lot of that will develop. Saturday, same story. This is Saturday at noon, so you see the high pressures off the coast. As that moves on to the east, it opens the door for the next frontal boundary. That'll come through on Monday, and really Monday is probably our best chance of showers, and even that is only a 40%, so we're dry for a little bit. Tonight, evening storm and then some clearing if we get the storm at all, but 65 degrees, highs tomorrow going up to 86, and comfortable in our 7-day forecast as we look at mid to upper 80s. That's pretty much through Monday. Friday, Saturday, pretty dry. A isolated late day shower Sunday, better chance Monday, and then 80 on Tuesday is where we bottom out. A dry Wednesday, Thursday, and back to the mid to upper 80s.
Thank you all on Facebook for letting us know the bugs that are the worst. You guys, listen to this. This was my favorite. Charlotte says, any bug with more legs than I have is the worst.
Yes, I agree. Which is all bugs.
All bugs.
Oh, yeah.
I love that.
I do like, and you would know this because you're from this area, but I have such a fascination with the woolly worms.
Oh,
you
don't
do?
they have the little race that they do, and they race against each
They
other?
do in
And a festival, right?
Blowing
Woolly
Rock,
Rock,
Yeah, I think
festival.
But they let
You
them, they
featured
race
that
up
before.
twine so that
Okay.
they like have the string and then they put them on there and they crawl up.
So interesting.
That's
Our
interesting.
producer Courtney went to go do that this
Yeah.
year, I think.
Isn't there an
Latasha,
old
right?
wives' tale on woolly worms
Predicting winter.
predicting winter?
I can't remember the stripes thing. I have to go back and look it up, but it's something to do with their stripes and the way that they're either brown or black and how many or something like that determines the winter. Of course, there's no science behind it, but it is a lot
Right.
of fun.
But it's like a lot of
Interesting.
fun just to. And
Yes, it
are they
is.
quick or are they pretty
No,
slow? So
they're-
you're out there cheering like.
They're
forever.
slow. Yeah. In fact, I feel bad for them in that race. Sometimes somebody's like at the bottom, like tapping the twine, trying to get them to go faster. Run!
Just like put a little lighter under there,
Right.
right? Get a
Oh,
flame on their
no.
butt. Then
No,
they're headed
don't
up.
do that.
Okay, bye.
Right now, the president is calling on Congress to help ease painful prices at the pump. He proposed a temporary gas tax suspension that could drop prices down 18 cents.
The plan would be a temporary fix, but WFMY News 2's Megan Malaris found out drivers want something more long-term.
This gas price saga is stop and go. We have slowly pumped the brakes on record-shattering prices, but been unable to roll the burden to a stop. As fuel analysts warn of a very expensive summer, let's look at another so-called gas hack to save money. Viewer Janice Sumner posted these tips from, quote, the experts. Number 4 claims, remember, every 5 miles above 55 miles per hour decreases your fuel efficiency. Is that true? The answer is yes. Our sources are Consumer Reports and Gas Buddy head petroleum analyst Patrick DeHaan.
That's absolutely true, and that's where your vehicle is working harder to overcome drag. That is wind, right? It's every 5 miles an hour you go up above beyond that, you're losing a lot more efficiency, and that's why 55 to 60 is really the sweet spot. Your car's not having to work as hard against the wind. But your RPMs, generally, you're in a high gear at that speed. So you're generally in a perfect spot there. And you can really do much better. You can get 400 miles out of a tank.
Consumer Reports also tested the claim. It measured gas mileage at a steady 55 miles per hour, 65 miles per hour, and 75 miles per hour in both a standard car and compact SUV. It found reducing speed from 65 to 55 improved fuel economy by 6 miles per gallon in the car and 8 miles per gallon in the SUV.
You don't have to go 70. You don't have to go what the speed limit says, right? There's minimums posted, but 55 to 60 is the sweet spot for most vehicles.
And be mindful of what your car is carrying to your summer road trip. Consumer Reports found at highway speeds, more than 50% of engine power goes to overcoming aerodynamic drag. Adding weight to that, even from an empty roof rack, slows down your fuel economy. In conclusion, yes, the gas hack claim is true. Going faster than 55 miles per hour reduces your fuel efficiency. You'll save money if you slow down. Yet slowing down doesn't necessarily mean taking the slowest route. DeHaan said you'll get better fuel efficiency if you take the highway at 55 than starting and stopping on roads with stoplights. With your Verify, I'm Megan Malaris.
Grandfather Mountain is gonna be lit this weekend. Literally, hundreds of people are preparing to see an incredible firefly show. For the first time, you can see the insects sync up and shine their lights in the night sky. It's part of a mating practice that only happens once a year.
They're very small, but they definitely do have brains. It's wired into them. It's their programming.
Experts say fireflies are special because they're only around for about 3 weeks to mate before they die. They say it's kind of like going out with a bang. Unfortunately, all tickets to the show at Grandfather Mountain are sold out, so maybe you can go next year. It would be so cool to see something like that.
It would.
I like when they all do it at the same time. It's like a Christmas light display.
That's like the one bug I'm not afraid
Yes,
of.
yes,
Like when I
yes.
was little, I remember trying to like catch them whenever you would see them.
Right, and it's funny because if it's during the day and you can't see them, they're gross bugs, right?
Yeah.
But then at night, if they light up, then they're cool.
Very beautiful.
Was that a thing for you in Wisconsin when you grew up? Or?
Absolutely, and it's going to be kind of morbid, but we would catch them and then smash their bodies, I suppose, on our arms,
the
so
glowy
it
part.
would glow.
So you'd make like war paint on your face and stuff.
We would catch them in jars, and then they would all light up, you know, together and stuff. So it was like a little flashlight.
That's cool.
Yeah.
A little bit better than ripping them apart.
Kind of
More humane.
aggressive.
Slightly.
One thing I was wondering too, do you call them fireflies or lightning bugs?
I call them fireflies.
Lightning bugs when I grew up.
I don't really remember because we've done so much of the interchanging that I don't remember
You
what I call
probably
them.
call it both, or depending on who you're having a
some point,
conversation
right?
with.
Right.
When I was a kid, it was always lightning bugs. But I remember my mom said, you talk about what you guys did with my mom, said they would pull the tail off and then it would constantly glow and they'd put it on their finger like it was a ring. Little girls would put it on I know, what is up
What
with
were
kids?
y'all destroying these bugs?
But I love how he just like let me hang out to dry.
Yeah, and then he's like,
And then
now my
30
mom.
didn't do it.
30 seconds later. Yeah.
It was my mother. I'm blaming her, not me.
Oh, that's great. To be a bug and to live for 3 weeks, what would you do? Well, you're mating, right? Like that's the purpose of your.
That's their
I'm going to
thing.
try to eat everything I can.
Right? That's a great idea.
It is, because someone's going to try to swap me away, so why
Right,
not try?
yeah.
Don't they say flies live like 24 hours or something like that,
Some
or
of them,
something 48
yeah.
hours? Yeah, I mean, yeah, I agree.
Got to make the most of your life.
Eat it all.
Go
We'll
eat
be right
everything.
back.
Hi, mic check 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Mic check, mic check, mic.
I like
Hi,
this
everybody.
music.
It's the club.
Got some moves going on here. That was kind of a club beat. Welcome back to the 4 to 5. We have 30 more minutes with you. Eric, Chad, and Lauren with you today.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching us on WFMY News 2, Fire Stick, Roku, and the WFMY News 2 app. And a lot going on our Facebook page, our live stream. Join the comments. We're having a lot of fun over there.
Let us know what the grossest bug you
Yes.
think is on there. And if you haven't downloaded our app, point your phone's camera at the QR code on your screen to download it. All right, let's start with a new story here at 4:30. State health leaders confirm the first case of monkeypox in North Carolina. They didn't say where the person lives, only that they are now isolating at home. Monkeypox is a rare virus infection that involves flu-like symptoms and a rash of bumps filled with fluid that scab. It typically spreads with skin-to-skin contact. Again, this is a rare virus. Only 156 cases have been identified in the entire country.
Right now, the summer season has several families planning trips to a body of water. But while the water can be great fun, it can also prove very dangerous. According to the latest CDC data, one person per 1,000 people drowned in our state.
Per 100,000 people, just want to make that
100,000,
clear.
yes.
From a national standpoint, more than 3,900 people die in drownings every year. That's about 11 deaths a day.
Earlier this month, a teen died during a night out on the lake in Stokes County. Elijah Wyatt was 15 years old and was a R.J. Reynolds high school student.
Investigators say he drowned in Ballous Lake after he went out too far without a life jacket. Prior to that, a Guilford College student drowned at Tuckertown Reservoir after jumping off a rock. Ahmad Brewington was just 20 years old. It took first responders 3 hours to recover his body.
Most recently, an 11-year-old Danville child died after disappearing in the Dan River. It happened near the Chevy dealership on Riverside Drive. The boy went under after playing with a friend. Crews pulled him out about 45 minutes later, but he didn't survive.
The Greensboro Aquatic Center held an event today to promote water safety. It was one of hundreds of locations worldwide to take part in the world's largest swim lesson.
It's a global drowning prevention event supported by leading aquatics and safety organizations. The GAC partnered with Carolina Swims Foundation and the Lewis Recreation Center to teach over 100 kids the life-saving skill of swimming.
It is very important, and that's something that we strive to do here at the City of Greensboro, is teach children how to swim. It is the second leading cause of death in ages 5 to 14.
The GAC has taught more than 10,000 swimmers through private and public programs.
A racial disparity in access to swim lessons and ability creates another risk for pool safety.
The Consumer Product Safety Commission found a 24% gap between black children and white children in swimming ability.
The group attributes the difference to generational ability. More black parents did not have access to swim lessons growing up, so they never learned. They never taught their children, so the gap remained. The commission started a pool safety campaign to try to close that gap.
Typically growing up in the African American community, there's not always going to be a pool down the street or in your neighborhood or around the corner that you can go and swim at. I think it's important for everyone to find a pool, learn the basics. Is that something that that African Americans and other minorities do on a regular? Probably not.
Keep in mind, it is never too late to learn how to swim.
Never too late. I'm actually not a strong swimmer. I can't really swim very well at all. And every year I say, I'm going to learn how to swim. I'm going to learn how to swim. A lot of people say, I can swim. I'll teach you how to swim. And I've missed out on some great opportunities when vacationing because I was too afraid to get in the water.
I was never given official swim lessons. I had to kind of learn on my own as I got older. But I was like you. I was like, it's a life skill, right? So you got to do it. So I sort of just was taught by friends. You know, when we go out to literally lakes and ponds and mess around, they teach me how to do it. So even now, I don't consider myself a good swimmer.
I remember growing up taking swim lessons at a local lake, and I absolutely hated it. It was something I dreaded every time that my mom would take me to those lessons. I don't know what I don't know, maybe just the uncertainty about the water, but I'm so glad that I went through with it. Is it hard to kind of coerce your kids into learning how to swim?
So because I'm not a good swimmer, I was not a good parent at I shouldn't be there. Like, I let my wife do it because I would overreact if I saw him get choked or whatever because I didn't grow up with it. They were like 2.5 or 3 when we did the twins with their lessons. So I would leave and let the instructor do it. In fact, the instructor said, probably better for you to go out because you're nervous about this. And so I left, and then now they're great.
I wish my parents had started me out earlier. They did put me in lessons when I was in preschool, and I remember being terrified every single class. I did not want to get in. And my god sister was in the same class as me, and she just loved it. And my mom would be like, look at Taylor, she can do it. You should, try to do it too. And I was just like, no. But I wish they had forced me to do it because now as an adult, it's just like, when am I going to find the time to do it? But it is a life-saving skill.
But now you would learn it quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, today was a special graduation for 2 Forsyth County men. They are the latest graduates of the Stepping Up process to end recidivism or SUPER program.
The program helps people struggling with mental illness or addiction stay out of jail. It offers counseling and helps them find jobs and housing as long as they stay out of jail and stay sober. It's a proud day for graduate Ernest Thames.
It feels good to have a bank account. I mean, go to work every day, have a family that looks up to you. Like all my family now, they look up to me now. They're proud of me.
Graduates considered superheroes. That's why Thames and fellow graduates Henry Davis wore capes instead of caps and gowns. I love that. That is so awesome.
I love the cape thing. That's phenomenal.
Yes.
We need to do that for every
Superheroes,
graduate.
yeah. It's so great that they offer programs for people who are dealing with mental illness, addiction, that kind of thing, because oftentimes, I mean, if you are dealing with something like that, sometimes family will just, you know,
pull
push
away
and
push
just
away, yeah.
distance themselves. And so it's hard if you don't have that support system to get through from what I understand are very, very difficult things to get through.
And it's power in numbers too, right? I mean, it's that you can be there with other people that are going through kind of a similar situation and have someone to talk to. And I love that. You're right. It opens doors that, and it's sad to say, but it is true that sometimes family pulls away from stuff like that.
And people in those situations, they just have to be taught a different way. They might have to learn a different way. So it's nice that they have professionals that know how to cater to people who are struggling through these kind of things.
See, we need more good news like this.
Yeah, absolutely.
On a daily basis. That's what the 4 to 5 is here for.
Do you have more good news in the weather department?
I do, and especially next week. I mean, once we get to, I'd say the beginning, once Monday arrives, we're in really good shape. Now, I mean, even good stuff tonight, right? We're not seeing 96 again for anywhere in the 7-day forecast. That was yesterday, very high, the hottest day this year. And you look across the region, a couple of thunderstorms just moved through Davie County, so Moxville probably saw a little bit of rain there, and some in Yadkin County as well, but they're very isolated tonight. So as we head into the evening, just don't look for widespread thunderstorms. It will not be that type of an evening. They are developing to the north and pushing to the south. We've been in that pattern for the last 2 or 3 days. It's just we're not seeing a great deal of thunderstorm activity. Here's the futurecast, and as we head into the evening, this is more like 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock at night. Yeah, a couple of isolated storms, but overall, once we get to 8, I think into the night, we're just fairly clear, and things are going to be okay. By the way, tomorrow morning, if you happen to be up early enough, and we're talking like sunup, you can look into the sky. There are 5 planets lined up near the moon from Mercury, Venus, and Mars, and it's really cool to see. Check out, we have a story on our website about that if you want to look to the east and see that. That cold front becomes more of a stationary front for Friday, but with that high pressure in control, we really don't see a difference from today to tomorrow, except that temperatures, we might shave off a degree or so, but as far as rain chances go, I think Friday is fairly dry overall. Here's your 7-day forecast, and we're good. 86 degrees for tomorrow, 88 on Saturday, 89 Sunday. The rain chances are really slim. It's only a 20% Friday, Saturday, and a 30 on Sunday. Monday, the best chance as a front moves by, and we go with 86 degrees then. Tuesday, the coolest day at 80, and Wednesday, Thursday are dry and will warm back up, but right where we should be, really, 85 and 87 for those 2 days.
We are just a few hours away from a huge night for college basketball players, the NBA draft. Players from our local ACC schools hoping to hear their names called tonight. WFMY News 2's Amanda Ferguson tells us what we can expect to see. Hey, Amanda.
Hey, it's a moment these guys have been waiting for. A life-changing one for every player who gets drafted into the pros. And it's a time where we speculate who goes where, yet we hardly ever know. We can make a good guess that 3 Duke players will get drafted tonight because they've been invited to New York for the event. Only 20 players get that call. The 3 Duke players here, Paolo Banchero, he can be the #1 pick, and if not, he'll go close. Then you have AJ Griffin and Mark Williams. The other 2, the guys on each side of him, Trevor Keels and Wendell Moore Jr., they're also in the draft, a total of 5 Duke players in this thing, and we cannot forget about the Demon Deacons. We can see 2 Wake Forest guys hear their names called, Jake Laravia and Alanis Williams, 2 big-time shooters for the Deeks. We'll talk more about them coming up in sports at 6. But back to Duke, if 5 players go, that'll be the first time in program history in a single draft.
I mean, that's amazing.
When you said that last night, it was kind of surprising to me, Amanda, because this, in my opinion, isn't the best Duke team that we have seen over the years.
You know, and you would think with Duke, you would think that they would have way more in their history, but only 4 have gone at one time.
I mean, that's a lot, though. If you think about, I mean, your whole starting 5 going, that's a pretty big accomplishment. And when you were talking about this year not being the best, it's funny because on paper, and recently I heard Banchero say this, that they were expected to be possibly in the national championship. So, and they had ups and downs all season long. So I know that's frustrating, but individually, I think they'll all do great. I mean,
Oh, individually, I completely agree. I do think Paolo is one of the best players in this draft. I would draft him.
I do too. I think he may be number one. He may go first.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Just think about the payday that these guys are going to get.
That's why they leave. That's why they go. They're one and done at Duke, so they can go get paid.
That's right. I can't wait. All of us just wait to see what the number is going to be. You know?
Right, exactly.
It's interesting. All right, thanks, Amanda. We're taking a short break. We'll be back.
For me, ice cold milk and an Oreo cookie, they forever go together like a classic. Problem, solution. Necessity is the mother of invention, right? That light bulb moment. For example, when COVID hit, no one wanted to touch anything else that anyone else touched, right? So this became a thing. The scanning of a QR code to get a menu at a restaurant. This may have started during COVID, but I gotta say, it looks like it is sticking around. So I find now that if you ask for a paper menu, most places will give you one, right? But not all. So do you like this change?
I don't mind it,
but
I do like, you know, just the traditional menu so I can see the pictures and just kind of get a better feel, but I don't mind the QR code thing at all.
It doesn't bother me one way or the other, as long as I can see the menu somehow.
I'm totally fine with it for myself, but thinking about maybe some of the older generation that don't have all these smartphones, I feel badly for them.
Okay. And that's where usually that paper, you know, menu comes in. Well, what else have you seen change when it comes to food and drink services, like because of COVID?
I don't think I've noticed as
More
much.
curbside pickup?
Yeah, that for sure, yes.
I've noticed that sometimes you don't get salt and pepper on the table anymore. They bring it to you in like a little craft or something like that.
The little packets,
Packet.
yeah.
I've seen that.
I don't, lately everything's kind of seems back to normal to me.
The same? Okay. Well, self-serve kiosks at fast food services are much more common than they were before, right? Now there's another machine to add to the mix. That's right. This, my friends, is a bartending robot. Right now, he's making a mojito at a bar in Germany. Now, this robot has not made to replace the human bartender, and really, the human makes the drink faster. But with so many food service workers not coming back to work, this robot was designed to help make up for all the staffing shortfalls. So I think this would be an issue, right, if it was just a line of robots, right, and trying to do like the drinks.
Right.
But as help, I kind of get it.
Yeah, it would make the service workers and the bartenders go, okay, let me get back in there and get my job, because just in case, you know.
You think so?
I think that would motivate some people to get back.
All right.
My thoughts went to how much do these robots cost?
Oh,
Like, would it be
that's true.
cheaper to employ humans or have
But what happens when you
robots?
can't get humans?
Yeah, that's
Oh,
right.
if people just don't want the jobs.
Right, they
Yeah,
don't
you
wanna
do
do
need
that
some
anymore.
help, but
I have two thoughts.
Okay.
One is, wow, you don't have to tip anymore, right? Because, my God,
so smart.
robots
so
have
smart.
feelings.
you don't have to tip. My other thought is, I've got some bartenders that have a heavy pour. and I don't think that robot's going to give me that.
Oh, it's going to give
They're gonna
everybody
give
the
you a
same
measured
exact
Yes.
No matter how cute you are, right?
How much
Okay.
of a regular you are.
And this is the other thing. It's often not about the drink itself, right? It's about this right here. It's about the interaction. The person who listens, who makes a joke. The robot just isn't gonna do that, folks.
What would you like?
Coming right up.
Another line. Much more comfortable today than yesterday, and we're going to see a string of days within a few degrees of normal. Now, we should be in the upper 80s for this time of the year. So, we'll get there. We'll say mid to upper 80s for most of the time period as we head throughout our 7 days. Now, high temperatures day, again, not the official highs, but what our computer has been picking up. It's mostly upper 80s all the way around. 87 Greensboro, 89 Burlington, 88 in Asheboro. To the east and south, Siler City there at 87. Pinehurst, 87 degrees. Winston-Salem, you have 89 for the high. Couple of isolated showers or storms, but really not a lot at this hour. And we think in the next probably 2 to 3 hours, we may be finished with any of that rain. If you look at the futurecast here, you only see a couple of them popping up. They are drifting from the north back down to the south. But again, this takes us to about 7 o'clock now, 8 o'clock at night, and we're pretty much done with it by then. And a decent night as we head into the evening. Go for 65 for tomorrow morning. That'll be your step out temperature. That cold front we see here kind of stalls over the area. We'll call it a stationary front for Friday, but you may add a couple of clouds to the mix, but otherwise we're fairly dry. There's a big ridge of high pressure over us for Friday and Saturday. As a matter of fact, for the weekend, Sunday, a 30%, that's the highest rain chance we have for Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, and that's kind of a normal situation for us. Next front will start to move through Monday, and that brings us the best chance of rain. Low of 65 tonight, partly cloudy, mainly dry for your Friday, and that high temperature of 86 degrees. We're in the upper 80s for your weekend, but again, that is normal as we go 88 and 89 for Saturday, Sunday. 86 on Monday with that front moving by, that's a 40% chance, and then as we go into Tuesday, look for the coolest high at 80 degrees.
And this first week of summer definitely brought in the heat. I asked you on my Facebook page, what is your favorite way to stay cool? Jacqueline Rowland says, read a book in the AC. Angie Meek says, stay in the house with a cup filled with ice water. Chuck Stewart wrote, a freeze from Dixie Queen. Anthony Bonin wrote, a cooler full of ice cold Coronas. And then Brittany Wall says, staying inside and eating ice cream.
I like all of those
Me
things.
too.
Yeah, seriously.
If I'm near a body of water, I will enjoy it. I love going to a lake, the beach, a pool even. Do you remember that one year when I put the kiddie pool out in front of the weather garden when it was hot?
Did y'all get
we
in
put
there?
our feet in there, didn't we?
Yeah, rolled up his pants and was standing in the
so
kiddie
cute.
pool while he was sharing the weather forecast.
So that is what I like, is like feet in the water somewhere.
Okay.
Love that.
Yeah, I love being at the pool, but sometimes it's a little too hot for that as well. So I like chilling inside with the AC. And my newest thing is getting a cookout shake, going inside and watching Netflix in front of the AC.
What's your flavor?
So I like to mix the peanut butter fudge with the Reese's cup.
Okay.
It's really good.
Mine's
Try
similar to that. I do Oreo and peanut butter.
Ooh, might have to try
never
that.
done that. Yeah, nobody likes this one but me, but I like the pineapple milkshakes.
I've never tried their fruity ones before.
The watermelon one is killer.
Watermelon blueberry, but they only have watermelon July and August.
Yeah, I always hear you talk about, you were talking about it all last July, so I need to try that one.
But honestly, milkshakes from anywhere. I don't care where it's coming from.
Filet.
I'm looking forward to, I think Wendy's is bringing like a strawberry milkshake.
Yes,
so,
just for the summer season too.
yep, I don't care where it comes from. Give me a milkshake.
Freezy Pops. Remember, we used to eat those
yeah.
here a lot. People would bring them in and keep them in the freezer over there in the kitchen set.
What was your
and
favorite?
we would eat them at night at 11 o'clock.
Favorite color?
Flavor? I'm going red, cherry.
Purple.
I like the purple. I like the green too.
Oh, yeah,
the green was
apple
good.
thing? Oh, yeah, that's my
I remember as a
favorite.
kid, like everyone's sticking out their tongues to show how they're.
I also want
Tongues
to really
changed.
quickly share, we were talking on Facebook about the robot bartender. Two funny comments you have to hear. Melita said, R2D2 tending bar.
Nice.
But then Bobby Odom, he always has something funny to say. I can't flirt with the robot like I could the waitresses.
Aww. The robot might surprise you. It might be
never
like
know.
Surrey.
Never know. Put a little robotic face on the robot, little wig.
His eyes start to light up with hearts.
I think you're cute.
Good luck, Bobby. Good luck.
Yes, we're
If it
pulling
comes
for
down
you.
to that, having to flirt with a robot.
Yeah, we're in trouble. We're in trouble. All right, before we head out, we can't forget about you day. Listen as Coach Lamont shares a message about the butterfly.
One day, a man watched a butterfly struggle to emerge from a cocoon. The cocoon had a small hole and the butterfly simply could not fit through it. Now frustrated, the man took it upon himself and created a larger hole for the butterfly, which was then able to emerge. Now the problem was, it was too soon and the butterfly had not fully developed, and the butterfly spent the rest of its life unable to fly. What the man failed to understand was the butterfly needed the struggle to fully develop. We all have faced struggles and at times wished we could have exited those struggles sooner. but the struggle has always been a part of the process. The greatest struggle will strengthen and equate to the greatest life. Never dismiss the struggle, but endure, and in due season, you will fly. This is Coach Lamont. Make today your best you day. I'll see you tomorrow.
One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Isa, dalawa, tatlo, apat, lima, anim, pito, walo, siyam, sampu.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. A sad update to a car crash that's in.
Oh, yeah, that's me.
Okay, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5.
Now that we've been together for nearly a week on the 4 to 5, how's it going? Are you sick of me yet? I certainly hope not. I joined the group on a permanent basis after Stacy left. It's a show I've been admiring from afar basically since it started. I'd ask my boss to fill in any chance I got. Now don't get me wrong, I love anchoring at 6 and 11, but the 4 to 5 offers something a bit different. I'm able to let my personality out a little bit. We have fun, we laugh, and we get to talk at length about important topics. It's a format I'm not used to, but I'm excited to see how it goes. I'll still be anchoring at 6 and 11, but this will expand my role in the afternoon. Now I get the best of both worlds. I get to tell people the important news of the day, but I also get to have some fun on lighter topics. I'm also looking forward to spending more time with Eric, Lauren, and Monique. We see each other in the newsroom and say hello in passing, but this will mean we'll be working together often. They're already a great bunch, and I'm excited to see what I can add to the mix. Hey, if you have any ideas for the show or a segment that we should consider, let me know. I'd be glad to hear it. Until then, I hope to see you tomorrow at 4. That's just my 2 cents. And your 4 to 5. WFMY News 2 at 5 starts right now.
A sad update to a car crash that sent 4 children to the hospital in Lexington. Investigators say one of them, an 8-year-old, died this morning.
Court documents show Amber Whitaker was high on drugs when she ignored road signs and crashed into the back of an NCDOT truck. The crash happened on Tuesday morning near Fairview Drive. The 3 other children are in the hospital with severe injuries.